out and made this happen today. I thought the crowd was awesome, starting with the Illini walk to get dropped off in Grange Grove. I thought our players really reacted to that. And then during the course of the game, I think you really felt them. You know, it's been so long since they've been able to feel a crowd, and even though it wasn't totally sold out, it was definitely an energetic crowd. I think we sold out the student section, which was absolutely awesome to see. I think we had, as players and coaches, got to be able to recognize that and honor that. They're a constituent. If we win them, it just bleeds into everything, right? So couldn't be happier for our players, especially the 6-year seniors who came back and wanted to start this thing off the right way. So to have that group, really the whole group in that locker room, it was a 4-quarter victory, right? It took all 3 phases of the kicking game. Stressed it really since fall camp started to where we are today. Nothing's going to come easy for this group. Played their hearts out and, rallied around a second-string quarterback. Anytime your quarterback gets knocked out, that's a big deal. I thought Art was prepared for the moment. I give Tony Peterson and the offense staff a lot of credit to have him step into that role, really never miss a beat. I think when he had the late hit, the personal foul on him, it kind of riled him up, and more than anything, it fired up the troops around him. You literally saw the offensive line get fired up, hit some good rhythm. Had some guys that maybe people hadn't thought of were going to show up today. A guy like Jakari Norwood comes in, has 2 big runs and a touchdown catch on the end zone. How about Deuce Spann, right? A guy that literally first play at wide receiver comes up with a big play like that, toe taps, puts the ball out on the 6-inch line. Isaiah Williams, his first game as a wide receiver to be as effective as he was. Alex Paucho, right? He come back off a knee surgery that he hasn't really played a whole heck of a lot of reps to get in there and do what he did. I just couldn't say positive things about our tight ends. Defensively, wasn't pretty. The only guy that really could beat us, we thought, was 2, and we gave him that one play that kind of got him back in the game. So a great teaching moment for me as a head coach to get that across to our players and our coaches that we have to take away the thing that beat us. And fortunately now that gave us a 4-quarter game. When you win these type of games, even though they're a little bit, my wife doesn't like these stressful type moments. I'll probably get chastised for that later tonight. But it just, it really does build character with your team. It does build a lot of things that you can't simulate in practice to have that happen. So as far as injuries, I really don't know anything. I know BP, I know it was on his left shoulder, not his right shoulder. So as a quarterback, that's a positive thing when you're a right-hander. Right? I don't know how long or any of that stuff yet. So we'll see where that goes. I think the rest of the guys were just some minor injuries. I don't know anything about CJ at all. I literally don't know anything about his other than when he was removed from the game. So with that, open up his questions.
Coach, what did you see on the left-hand side?
What's that?
I know it's just 1 to 12 games, but the stage you had to get this
Yeah.
for the fans, for the team, inside the facility, what can
Rick Bezos said something to me there I had never really thought of. He said that you won a lot of games in this league, right? And doesn't know how many we're going to win in the future, but you can only have one opportunity to win your opener as a head coach, and this is a big deal, right? Give a lot of credit to Josh for letting me have this moment, letting me get this opportunity, and the kids to play their hearts out, because for me, this is a big one, right? To win from a recruiting standpoint, the Big Ten West. I've been preaching to our guys. One of our first team meetings, I said, hey, the last 5 Big Ten West titles have been won by 2 teams, and those 2 teams had only lost 2 home games in Big Ten West play over that 5-year window. So the importance of winning at home in these divisional games is huge, and they buy into it 100 times over. I'm super excited for our players.
What did you see on the left-hand side that kept you going to the left offensively?
Was there anything that we saw?
Yeah, well, there must have been something.
Yeah, I know that the ball's over there on that hash a little bit more, I think. But the thing that they did with their personnel is they kind of evolved during the course of the game, all matching our personnel and our big people. Then there at the end when we had to run, we went big, then went little. I thought Tony did a nice job of spinning the dial. By that I just meant he kept rotating personnel groupings through there. Makes the defense play a little bit of a guessing game, so I thought that was a really good. Moved Art out of the pocket. But just a lot of little things that end up being big things in the end.
It looked like after Brandon went down, he talked to Clark for maybe 30 seconds or so on the sideline. What was that conversation like with him?
That's a good luck. I just wanted to have him know that it didn't happen by chance. He was going to be in this position. I really, as you guys get to know him, I just said on radio, like he really has a pretty strong presence and awareness. He talks, acts, walks, and reacts like a quarterback. I didn't really have any thoughts about how he was going to handle the moment. What I didn't know was the way the guys were gonna react to him, right? Like I said, after that play, I thought our kids really reacted very, very well. And just, you know, I had a very wise man visit us during fall camp, and he said, Brett, I think your team likes each other, you know, and you don't have to love each other, they don't have to go to dinner every night and live together, right? But they gotta like and respect one another. And I saw three things. When Jakari Norwood scored a touchdown, that place went crazy, our sideline did. When Deuce Spann caught that pass, our kids went crazy. And when when Art got hit on that play, our kids rallied on the field, right? I saw it visibly happen. And that's the stuff that you can't put a price tag on as a coach. I mean, remain quiet.
Coach, obviously Art has had some struggles in his career, especially as a freshman at Rutgers. What do you think this means to him to have so much success and lead the team to a win in this season opener?
Well, I don't know if he had struggles, right? Like, I just know the good things I've seen. I don't worry about situations I wasn't a part of or witnessed. I have never seen Art struggle. I've only seen the good side of when we recruited him, the way he responded. I've seen him respond every day to practice. You know, you never really know what goes on when you're not there, right? People just assume things happen. I took a quarterback by the name of Russell Wilson who, you know, went through supposedly struggles, and I saw that work out fairly well. So we'll just keep going in the direction of what we know.
Greg, you only get one chance to make a first impression. What's your first impression you made today?
Well, if somebody wanted 60 minutes of entertainment, we got that. I do think that they're a fun group to watch, you know, and I've said from the opening press conference to where we are today, right? Like, good organizations, successful organizations. I don't care any facet of life you talk about, sports, business, personal, marriages, right? They represent the things that are important to that arena, right? And for us here at Illinois football, we got to be obviously interactive with our fan base. To have our student section sell out, check the box, right? See the Champaign-Urbana community rally around our kids, check the box, right? I don't know what happened, you know, out in the state or around on the TVs, but I think there's a lot of reasons to get excited. You know, to see the crowd kind of grow here the last couple of weeks, ticket sales, and to get to where we are today, hopefully it's a positive step in the right direction.
Coach, think about Isaiah Williams. I mean, just putting on different scenarios, different packages, states. I mean, for him to play that well, and also to just kind of keep it all in his head.
The question about Isaiah Williams, just all the things we put him in today. Yeah, you know, so Isaiah has exceptional football IQ, awareness. He's you know, he's a kind of a quiet guy, as you guys know, but he has a very strong presence. Like, he's a little guy by nature, but you feel him when he walks in the room. You feel Isaiah Williams physically when he walks in the room. It's just kind of an aura and energy that he has. He's a very confident, you know, don't want to get out of his personal business, but he's made some, I think, commitments in his personal life recently that you've just seen his glow even get bigger, you know, and better. And I told Tony, like, about probably 2 weeks into fall camp, let's do some fun things with him. Let's do some things and put him in positions that people are gonna have to worry about where he's at. So I think he's a guy that you can game plan around offensively, and vice versa. Now defense has to be aware of where he's at.
What does it do for your confidence knowing that Art was able to go out and make some big plays as a head coach and as a play caller, especially on?
You know, Art, again, he is kind of what he is. Like, he's the same guy every day. I don't really walk in the building any day and worry about Art Sikowski and who's going to show up, right? He's the same guy every day. I was coming up the sidewalk yesterday, just kind of blind random day in the middle of the day. I had to go do an event and walking back or driving back, and he was walking down the street. He didn't even see me yet. He just sitting there, he just walking, smiling, you know, carrying his book bag, and that's just kind of who he is, man. He's revigorated by his opportunity here, you know. Whatever happened in the past, and he's just blessed to be in the opportunities in there.
We feel like he did well.
You know, question is, what do we do well defensively? You know, I do think that for the most part, we played and catered around two, you know, trying to do the things we had to do. We got really gassed at the end. We got to find more depth at the outside linebacker position to give Isaiah and OC a chance to get some spells. And we got guys there, Zeke and Seth, that I think can do that, right? We got a young guy, and Dwayne Johnson I think can do some things as well. Defensively, they were opportunistic, right? The scoop fumble, it wasn't just a fumble, right? It was a score fumble, right? That's a huge deal. Almost ended the game with Spoon over there on a nice play. He almost picked one off, backed up, if you remember that play. He was all over that out route. Spoon is a very, very talented player. And the great part about him, he's a great person, huge spirit. Those are the things I know as a head coach, you can kind of be like, oh, I got that guy now. I got that guy now. I got that guy. That's what gets you excited.
You get quite a weapon with Blake Hayes as the opponent.
Yeah.
A little bit about what he did today, hitting those punts inside the 5 and then one that led to your safety in the first
Yeah,
half of the game.
our lads showed up today, right? The first one was the punt that, you know, because of the way that I think we had a sack right before that, if I'm not mistaken, which I would have skied it, but then we let Blake air it out, and I knew he was kicking with the wind, and I'm like, he's gonna put this ball, you know, deep. And then that returner, he just got kind of caught up in the moment. Great teaching moment for our guys as well. You have to know where you're at. So all of a sudden this guy's fielding it, and I knew we were right on top of him. And then he took that step back, so I knew something was going to happen. I just didn't know the placement of his foot. I knew something was good was going to come out of that. And then the other one that, you know, just kind of gets charted off. We had the personal foul when Crane kind of pushed the D lineman over the pile, and now we're kicking off from the 20-yard line, and the other half of the lads put that ball on the touchback, which is just awesome. I mean, those guys, as a head coach, I can game plan around those kickers, and that's really special.
About time for a couple more questions. Players are starting to come out.
Back to yours on the field at the end of the game. With the emotions, especially unique today.
Was I fighting back too? No, I was just sweating. I definitely, I am an emotional guy. I get wound up, but I was just overly happy. Not only for my players, but I have a lot of family and friends in here for this game. That means a lot. Obviously, probably somebody saw my parents are here, you know. So you only get one opener. I give Josh credit. He made that happen for my folks. So I got 4 of my best friends in life that came, and then my wife and my in-laws. So a lot of really cool things about this game day that you can't put a price tag on.
What does a one like this
Just
on the
being
national
out there,
stage?
I'll come back right back to you. What's that?
What does a one like this being on the national stage, the only game in town? How does that help in terms of not just the brand of Illinois?
Yeah, so I've been talking about this game for a while, right? You guys are probably tired of me talking about having the opening kickoff of college football, and to have it be a win is just like the perfect ending, right? It's the perfect period at the end of the sentence about what we did today. Can't get overly excited about what it means or what it's going to do going forward, because we have a team, UTSA, that's coming in here that's got a lot of returning starters and won a lot of games a year ago. So we've got our work cut out for us, but it is a good end to the day.
Thanks for coming back.
Yeah.
Just being out there with the team that's yours,
Yeah.
does that start to kind of fill a 4-year void, and more than that, to win a game, considering the way the last one ended?
I appreciate it, and I get it. I understand I'm the head coach, and that's probably why people say it's yours. But the more I say we and the family, like, I'm not just making it up. Like it's and I said this to the kids in the locker room, right? Like, a million great things to be excited about for me as a head coach, but for them as a player is to see them get rewarded. They only have 12 guaranteed opportunities this year. As a head coach, I plan on being here a long time with many opportunities, but their windows are limited, right? And they only have 1 of 12, but they haven't started this way. It's a very, and again, the lessons we learned today were just worth their weight in gold. You couldn't script this any better for a head coach to have a learning experience for our players and our coaches.
Last question.
Obviously, CJ wasn't able to finish the game with what looked like a left leg injury, but what did you kind of see out of him that was impressive?
You know, CJ's an opportunistic guy. He saw that scoop fumble, just to have the presence to stand up. A lot of times guys will just grab that ball when they're on the ground, but he stood up and scooped and scored it. That's a pretty wise thing.
All right.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.